hello, you lovely person. How are you? So great you could tell me.
Lovely person.
I just found out Brownstein doesn't come in. I'm
heard.
like, for the love of Christ. Excuse me, everybody had to come in today. Oh.
Unlike the rest of us money, sell them to cashforcomputers.ca. That's cashforcomputers.ca.
It's entirely your. Here we go.
Oh,
This is for you, Denis.
thank you. That's how I feel. Nessun Dorma, we should put that.
Oh, well, we can play that later.
Yeah, but by
Can
whom?
you find
By
Nessun
whom?
Dorma and play that
Oh,
later
but
too?
Pavarotti.
No, Yurli.
I love Pavarotti. Okay, I'm a groupie. Is that right, in English?
Yurli.
There's no air conditioning in here. Ooh.
He felt so special about it.
Oh, there's sun enough.
I hate to interrupt.
I want to put these on to listen to the music.
Okay.
Hi there and welcome to Saturday afternoon in Montreal. Great to be with you on this hot and sunny Saturday of the Labor Day weekend, sort of the official beginning of the year for a lot of us. And today, a bit of a free-for-all on the program. We have a lot of wonderful people lined up, great people doing interesting things in this city that we all love and sometimes feel a bit ambivalent about as well. These are people I wanted to introduce you to and help you get to know better because they're all fascinating in their own right. Francine Pelletier and David Sherman join me in studio. Francine and David just back from Toronto where they won a Gemini for their film about Mordecai Richler. Mm-hmm. Say hello.
Hello.
Denis Coderre,
Hello.
best known as a member of parliament, but also an opera lover, in whose honor I just put on that, I suggested that we put on O Solo Mio. Also incredibly prolific in the social media, Denis
A little
Coderre.
bit.
And if you don't follow him
I
on
don't have a
Twitter,
lot of friends,
you
so-
don't know what's
But
going
I'm
on in there.
disappointed now. Facebook, they are not true friends, I heard.
Oh, you heard that, eh? Denis Coderre. Tom Fox is with us in studio. Tom is well known in the Dawson community. He sort of sings in the hallways of the college. Has a fabulous basso voice and is also, I think, didn't you win the Best Professor, Best Math Prof award?
Yeah.
Yeah. Being all shy, bashful. And Royal Orr, friend and former CJAD broadcaster, also CBC, also United Vision Television, and proponent or critic of international development
Various things.
and other things. Living in the
Great to be here, though. Thank you. I mean, it's an honor to be on the show, but also to be back in the studio and speaking to this audience, because, as you know, it's a great audience.
It is a great audience. It's a very deep audience. There's all kinds of people out there doing interesting things in their own right. But anyway, so in this hour, we're going to sort of chat about what all of you are up to and dip in and out of your various projects. Francine and David have to fly out the door to go to a wedding.
Not
Who gets
ours.
married on the Labor Day? Not yours?
Not our wedding.
You're not into weddings?
He is, I'm not.
There's lots
I
of
figure
people.
if I keep doing it, I'll get better at it.
Yeah, there's lots of people listening who aren't married too, eh? Doesn't Quebec occupy the créneau of the most
Least
people
married.
shacked up?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're the
I think
plateau
that's
up.
changing a bit. I mean, there's more young people seem to be getting married much more than our generation.
Huh.
But I think we're still holding out here in Quebec compared to other provinces, at least.
Okay. And you're off to a wedding up in the.
Saint-Jérôme.
Oh, that'll
Yeah.
be lovely.
So all those kind of things
against themselves through battle and through the idea
try to be
that the
a now
wild
myself,
Jew
but,
was the Jew that
so,
was the
yeah,
the
and
Jew
just
was no longer
fill
riding a horse
myself
in
with
the
that
shtetl in the same way, but it had written out into the world.
We have a clip, about 30 seconds, of Wild Jew, or The Last Wild Jew.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good clip that actually explains this concept of
Yeah, play it.
if you want. It's ready.
And then Royal and Fox will focus on that.
Yeah.
And Denis a bit too in the next half hour. Because this is a longer time slot. It's very jumpy and choppy that first half hour.
And a little tongue-in-cheek, but Fernando really wants to come back with Kill the Lab at opera from
Good.
So we'll probably just do that and wait for your cue for the clip if you want. Cool?
Yeah, do. This means war, of course. My brother loved this. Oh, the bunny. This This was David Sherman's suggestion.
Sorry.
The great leveler, the great democratizer of opera. David Sherman's suggestion about how opera was brought to the masses. It is pretty funny, Kill the Wabbit. Okay, moving on to more serious matters. What's up, Doug? Royal Orr joins us in studio. Royal, whose name is well known to CJAD listeners for having hosted for how many years?
4 years.
4 years
And
on.
I did fill in stuff for a while with Gord and other people. So yeah.
Oh, Gord, the late lamented Gord Sinclair, whose photo hangs in the I don't know what you call that, the couch area. So we were talking about Mordecai before that break because Francine and David just won a Gemini for their film called The Last of the Wild Jews. What's your opinion of Mordecai? Do you love him? Do you hate him? Royal Orr, do you have a thought?
Well, hate's a strong word.
Yes, it is.
But I'd be closer to that side. I don't think I'd quite go to hate.
No way. Why did you not like him?
I interviewed him a couple of times.
Here, in CJD. And?
It was a very unpleasant experience.
Was it?
What it was, yeah.
He was not an
He was
easy
very
guy.
dismissive. I found him dismissive of little cultures. He did this essay just before he came in about how ludicrous Dutch culture was. It
Really?
seemed to me of a piece with how he kind of reacted to Quebec, so we didn't get along.
But do you think he did that because he really thought that or because he was just trying to... Well, first of all, I think
if
he was
only
trying to
did it-
make a
he was just
living,
trying
right?
yeah, but if he was just doing it to wind people up, that says something about his character too, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
No, but that's all part of the wild Jew to a certain extent, the born provocateur, and he played it to the hilt, and I don't think he believed it completely, but he was so good at it that you were sure that he believed it, you know, and he had to go out there and do it, you know. He partly is to earn money, you know. This was something we'd never talk about much about Mordecai Richler, but he made a lot of money. He pushed his stuff continuously, and what they wanted to hear was partly those outrageous statements.
He had 5 children and lots of carrying
Yeah.
costs. I guess he had to be
Yes,
publishing
yes.
relentlessly.
Relentlessly.
There was a very short scene in the movie where he goes back to his high school and just gets drunk and deliberately insults everybody.
Well, that's how a lot of francophones felt. I mean, to be being insulted. But
Yeah.
you know, I understand the provocateur and all that. Did you really think about it?
You've never been a
I don't
provocateur,
know.
have
I don't
you,
know what
Denis
it's,
Coderre?
I don't know what it means.
Being a provocateur?
Provoke.
But he was a great Montreal personality.
He was, and the landscape is a little less colorful.
The heritage,
Did you ever meet him, Denis Coderre?
Nope, never.
Never met him, eh?
No.
And what about you, Tom?
Confess.
No. Okay, because I met him once, and I thought actually he was painfully shy. Hello. Hi, Will. Hi, Lori. Hi, Peter. Hi, John. How are you? Good to see you. I always thought he was the handsomest man in Montreal. No offense, Peter. Or Will.
You know what? I can handle it. It's okay. I'm happy to be
Hi,
second.
Hi. So come in and grab a seat. Hi there, and welcome to this somewhat unusual program. It's Anne's Goodbye Party, and you're all invited. And my studio guests are John Kalina, filmmaker, broadcaster, Laurie Schubert, chanteuse, and the person who runs the Quebec Writers Federation. Excellent organizer. Peter Schubert, who's a music professor at McGill and artistic director of Viva Voce, which is this fabulous choir, chamber choir, that we just heard a little bit of music from. Brian McKenna, my husband in an outrageous example of nepotism and cronyism. And Will Straw, a long-standing friend, and now just recently named the head of the McGill Institute for the Study of Canada. So it's a mixed bag in this hour, and we've just cracked open I guess it's not fair to say it's champagne. It's Prosecco or something, right?
Sound effects.
Okay, here we go. Clink. Here's to us. Here's to Montreal. Here's to all of you. Exactly. And now you must pronounce on the flavor. Does it meet with your...
Yes, hints of last year's orange juice. Tiny bit of pomelo.
That was John Kalina, who, in addition to having a very fabulous mustache, is very funny. And just did a film. I want you to talk about your film.
Yes, and you know, one day I'd like to do a funny film. I never seem to do funny films.
Well, you do documentaries.
I know.
It's so Canadian.
There's so many funny
right,
documentaries.
Will Straw? Is that not the most Canadian of things?
yes.
I did a degree in Canadian studies. in the interest of full disclosure.
I didn't, but.
But you're Canadian. That much we know. And John Kalina's here. He's a filmmaker and former broadcaster. And he's just done a wonderful film from the sounds of it. I'd love to see this thing. You might have to organize a screening for all of us now,
yes,
John.
I will.
Yes, that would be
We'll
good.
do it at the
And what about you, Brian McKenna? What's coming up for you?
I'm beginning a film called The Politics and Power of Gold. And the gold seems to be at the root of a lot of evil in empires through the ages, and right now it's reaching a stage that's rarely been seen.
It's almost at $2,000.
It's almost at $2,000.
And a lot of people are thinking of buying it around now, right? Because of the economy being so rough. Now let's talk about classical music, because this sort of interests me, and obviously it's your lifelong love and vocation. Both of you, Laurie and Peter. Classical music, we're building a new hall, right? We have a new symphonic hall, which is opening like this week or something. But we have declining attendance at these events, and we just basically confessed on the air that hardly any of us really knows about chamber music or listens too much to it. So what is your sense of what the future of this incredibly lovely, complicated music, some of the most beautiful music people have ever created? What is the future of it? Laurie?
I do think it has a future. I think it has always been thus that people have said, classical music is going to be dead in 10 years. And I've been around for kind of a lot of 10 years.
And it's not dead yet.
It's not dead yet. I don't know what happens. I think people might hit a certain age, and maybe it requires a sense of, extraordinary maturity. I don't know. At a certain point, people start to think, I always liked music. I used to play the piano. I'd like to know more about it.
Okay, so thanks to all of our lovely, lovely guests, Laurie and Peter Schubert, Will Straw and John Kalina, and Brian McKenna for bringing the bubbly, and to Emma, who's hanging around thinking, when is this going to be over? It's time for the news with Richard Deschamps.
Well, thank you.
You guys are so lovely, really.
That was fun.
That was really good. And I just really think it's too bad that I won't have a show to put you people on again.